Evil spells bind my soul and crush my bleed from every orifice in my body. Life is death and death is life. Murder is one way of life. Universe is another way of life. Tortured souls smell like burning flesh, and in hell they burn brightly and truly. It is my poem that I made when I was
that this is their land, this is where they live. And they had ownership, and they belong to you. I just to introduce myself as Natalie Lagarde. I'm a member of the Moon Clan, and I'm from Nipigon, Wishwakas of the Minnesota, which is also known as Virginia, Rocky Bay. It's where my dad was born. My mother's from Community.
On September 2nd, Otis was stabbed and killed by a 14-year-old youth. In the park at Moonbrook. I heard the noise from my bedroom window, ran downstairs, and immediately called the ambulance. I didn't know who it was at first. When I asked and got my answer, my heart sank. I promise you, Otis, I'll start those programs. I promise you. I've repeated that sentence so many times since September, and his response, I know you will, Amy. I believe you, and I'll support you with anything you need. At first, I was too angry at the 14-year-old youth to think about anything other than revenge. Now, I wonder if that youth had received more guidance, more direction, more positive influence, would Otis still be here? If he were in the New Experience program, he would have received those things and much more. He would have been instilled with good morals and values. I know this because Otis and I talked about receiving these things. We talked about how that program molded us into the people we are. In the neighborhood and also tragically lost his life. We collected over 200 signatures on a petition of interest and handed it in to housing with a letter requesting to erect the memorial benches on their property. We have yet to receive permission. However, housing said that we could talk about it more. While collecting the signatures, a friend and I did an interview with TV News about the memorial benches. After the interview aired, several organizations contacted us wanting to help with the bouncy castles. I'd like to thank the Golden Bakery, the Thunder Bay Indian Friendship Center, T-Bay Tel, and the Multicultural Youth Center for sponsoring Limerick's first Back to School Bash, which featured 3 big bouncy castles. I also want to thank all the volunteers that helped. Without your help and generosity, that event would not have happened.
When you're down, to feel like you've been pushed around, to be on the edge of breaking down, and no one's there to save you. No, you don't know what it's like. Welcome to my life. Good evening, elected officials, speakers, school graduates, and guests. I was labeled slow. Someone who may have a learning disability. I didn't think I was slow. I was put in a special ed class throughout my years in the school system here in Thunder Bay. Being put into special ed classes without consent and because of racial prejudice. It made me feel that I could not achieve in my life. It made me feel ashamed of my culture. I was afraid to go to college or university because I didn't think I was good enough in achieving at that level of education. It took me to the point of no return by leaving Thunder Bay at the age of 18. Occurrence number. The occurrence number was an important piece of information to me because it was critical for my legal defense. The young cadet denied me at the front desk. I asked to speak to the supervisor on duty. The supervisor did see me in his office. The supervisor denied my request to know my occurrence number as soon as I mentioned the word discrimination. The supervisor was unprofessional in communicating with me as he told me, "There's the door, leave." I did not leave at that point. I needed my occurrence number and it was my right to get it. So what it took for me to get what I wanted, I apologized and begged and pleaded with tears rolling down my face. The supervisor gave in and he instructed me to go back to the front to get my occurrence number. How did that make me feel? It made me feel unworthy and humiliated. It felt as though I was being bullied due to my race.